Okay, welcome everyone to today's Digital Marketing Teardowns. My name's Tim, I'm Head Ninja at Exposure Ninja, and we are very, very honored today to be joined by Ritu from the SEO team. Hey Ritu, thank you for joining us today.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity.
So we've got some sites that have been submitted, and obviously you're able to submit your own site for review as well. So you can do that in the comments if you want to submit your site. Let me see if I've got here we go. Bosh, we got a little thing there. So you can submit your website to be reviewed in the comments if you want to. Just drop a little comment with if you put .com, so if you put like Exposure Ninja .com, then some of the platforms will filter it. So if you want to submit your site, just spell out the words instead. So Exposure Ninja .com, and then you'll get it through. So because we've got Ritu, we're going to take more of an SEO focus in today's session. So we're going to be looking at the SEO of some sites across publishing, so like book publishing, but also content publishing type magazine sites, and e-commerce as well. So a good broad range of stuff that we're going to be looking at. While we're just waiting for people to come in, where are you joining us from today? Let us know in the comments. Where are you joining us from today? Ritu, we get some people joining us from the most crazy places. We've had people joining us from the sides of the riverbank because they're fishing. Have people on boats. So yeah, let us know where you're joining us from today, and then we're going to get started with the first site in just a minute. Okay, so yeah, like I said, we've got some sites in publishing that we're going to go through first, and then some e-commerce with wedding rings, and then a psychology content site. Sunny Australia. Well, I've got to be honest. It's dark now. Yeah, it might be dark now. It's probably similarly dark to the UK. I would imagine. I'm looking out the window here thinking, ugh. So yeah, all right, let's get stuck in. And don't forget, you can submit your site in the comments if you type in the URL, as I think Mark, who's on the Exposure Ninja comments on YouTube, has specified. Great. Let's get started. So I'm just going to share screen and then we'll get stuck in. So then I need to, where's the thing? Here we go. Still getting to grips with this new platform. So, right, Ritu, we got this site here.
Yes.
The Books Hub. Looks like it sells ebooks, I'm guessing, by the price. First thoughts from an SEO perspective, as soon as you land on a homepage like this, what's going through your head?
I think the first, from a user perspective, I think it's quite overwhelming with lots of options. So might be a little bit confusing. What I was expecting when I land on a homepage is like a big header that what they are selling, and a little bit explanation like a big image, and then followed by the products. So I think from a user perspective, just starting with the deals of the day, I personally feel that from users perspective, that's not a very good start. So yeah, I think if we have a headline, a little bit of introduction about the Books Hub and USPs, why I should buy from the Books Hub and why not from Amazon or why not from any other website.
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't even know if these are physical books, ebooks. We don't know
Exactly.
where the shipping restrictions are. We can see they're priced in dollars. We're in the UK. Can we buy? Who knows?
Yeah.
So there's a big usability piece. I mean, I think looking at the site, it strikes me that this is probably a very early stage business, isn't it? This isn't something that's going to be well established. Let's just sling it into SEMrush as we tend to do. By the way, Ritu, SEMrush or SEMrush? How do you say it? That's been the...
I call it SEMrush.
Oh, okay, interesting. That's been the conversation on SEO Twitter this week anyway. Jury's out.
So what's the majority say?
I think they're pretty split, to be honest. People are
Okay.
generally just shocked that the other group calls it the opposite.
SEMrush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
then the organization has been kind of watching from the sidelines, unwilling to commit either way. So, all right,
Okay.
we've stuck the site in SEMrush, SEMrush, and we can see that there's absolutely nothing here. There's no
No
visibility
traffic.
at all.
Yeah, no visibility at all. And the good thing is they have got authority score of 3. I think that's coming from the backlinks. So the backlink profile must be good, and they are working on it. That's why they are able to build up their authority score of 3. So as you can see, then there's no toxicity. It's very low of their backlinks, so which is really good. So I think with the backlinks, they're moving in the right direction. And with new Google algorithm updates, and which feels like that Google is focusing more on UX. It's kind of one of the most important ranking factor. So I think from UX perspective, there's a lot of scope for this website that
Yeah.
can be improved.
I mean, it feels to me like there's a bigger question with a site like this, which is at the moment, yes, they're starting to get some links, but they're majority not amazing quality.
Yeah.
And it feels to me like there's a bigger question here, which is about digital marketing strategy, and even kind of ties into the business model of the site. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but for a site like this to compete, it's going to need a huge amount of content. And what I'm wondering is if it's really difficult without knowing the structure and the kind of the background of the business. But I would almost be inclined to take the content from these books and publish, if not in full, publish a significant amount on a kind of blog site to almost turn it into a magazine site, to build those links, to build authority and get credibility. And then you could look at ways of monetizing that traffic. We've got Very Well Mind on the agenda today, and they're a site which has been built relatively quickly to huge traffic volumes by posting content. And it feels like this as a business model is going to be difficult. There's very little credibility to this product. For example, there's no author. The chances of me spending $5 on it is low. So I'm wondering, how could we use the information there to turn this into more of a compelling proposition that Google's going to say, we need to rank this site?
Yes. So I think like UX definitely, first of all, is the most important thing. And I think with the technical SEO perspective, that from the indexability point of view, I think there is, again, huge scope of improvement. Because it's an e-commerce website, and in e-commerce website, you tend to have lots of pages, and then you have to make sure that all the pages are indexable, all the pages are indexable, that Google is able to reach those pages. So I think from the e-commerce perspective, there are very little things like page titles and the meta description. There's not much time spent on it, but I think there should be the focus areas as well, improving the on page of the website. Their strategy could be that they're working on backlinks, acquiring backlinks, but then on page is equally important, or even more important, looking at Google's recent algorithm updates. And then another one is the page speed. We can also check the page speed of the website, which will tell us where should be what direction we should be taking in terms of as next steps. So if we can also check the page speed.
Yeah. So while page speed insight's loading, I mean, just to go back to the page titles and meta descriptions that you mentioned. So here, the page title for the self-help category is just self-help. The books up, so it doesn't even mention the fact that there are books for sale. And I know we might be able to infer that from the business name, but this is far from optimal, isn't it? It's not the basics haven't been covered yet.
Yeah, the basics. So I think to start with, the website should be in a complete and aligned with Google's guidelines, which is get the proper meta tags, proper content, and there should be a proper keyword research before even we start writing meta tags or content, because we want to understand what is the target audience for this website, whether we are targeting entrepreneurs, whether we are targeting startups. So I think with the keyword research, the audience should be defined. That should be a part of the strategy, digital marketing strategy.
So yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and I guess the fact that there's no kind of identification of keywords. It doesn't look like they're trying to rank for anything. Probably indicates that they don't know what they should be ranking, which probably, like you say, indicates they don't actually know who the target audience for the business is. So, okay, we're going to move on and have a look at page speed insights before we do so. But this is clearly a website which is at the start of its journey and maybe hasn't found its feet, hasn't found the angle which is going to be most effective for digital marketing. But to be kindly cruel, this isn't it. This isn't the final format that this website will take, and it's going to need a different approach if it's going to justify kind of growth, I think is what we're saying, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so page speed insights. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Google and Core Web Vitals coming in May. Some of these things are, very, very common. Some of these things are less common. What are you looking for when you're analyzing page speed insights? What are the kind of the tweaks that you're looking to make?
So in e-commerce, usually the first contentful paint, because that really helps. That really helps to improve the page speed score. So how we can improve the first contentful paint, like what's the what's the thing should be already loaded in less time. So I think, and that's quite high. 6.4 seconds is really, really high. And that could be because of the images or the WordPress plugins. Sometimes I have seen that websites are using in WordPress, they're using either Divi or Elementor. That causes huge load time. So I think those kind of things I will be looking at in order to improve page speed. Surprisingly, images haven't been an issue here, which is good for an e-commerce. But usually, I've seen that images are the issue as well, which is good. But yeah, not being loaded for 6.4 seconds, even the first thing that you can see is something that they should be focusing on.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And with Core Web Vitals coming in, it's only going to be more important. Okay, we've got people asking some questions in the chat. Moore says, can a new shop like Books Hub ever beat in SEO Amazon or other established bookshops? I'm curious to know your opinion on this, Ritu. From my perspective, this site it's definitely not going to beat Amazon for self-help books. It's going to have to be the way I could see this site beating Amazon would be people looking for information about self-help, coming onto the site to get that information, and then being upsold, cross-sold into something else. But to beat Amazon for core book terms, I think it's going to be very, very difficult.
Agreed. It's going to be very, very difficult. So because Amazon is at a level where either you have to spend a fortune of money to beat their digital marketing strategy, which is going to be very, I don't think it's going to be that fruitful. So I think if we follow a different strategy and target keywords where Amazon may not be a bigger competitor, I think that would be a more better approach and the right use of the budget.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are ways that information sites, I mean, this basically looks like a site that's packed full of information, and there are so many business models for these types of information sites. Like I said, we'll try and look at Very Well Mined later, because they're an example of this.
Yeah.
Successful. So I think for me, the fact that they're selling ebooks is possibly, you know, I think that train might have left the station a little while ago. If they're like generic ebooks like these are with no authors, there's no kind of credibility behind each of the books. I think that it's time to use that information, because that information, you know, if these are great, 101 self-help tips is the title of a fantastic blog post that could rank really well. And then you could break that down into so many different pieces. So there's an asset here. It's not being exploited in the way that it could. So.
Yeah, because if I have to buy a book, so even I may not look on Google, I may straight away go to Amazon and buy a search for a book. But if I'm looking for an information like self-help tips, then I might type in Google, and then there is a chance that this website could rank.
Okay, Ritu, someone has just asked a question. Springs asked a question on YouTube. They heard you mention Elementor and the big red flashing lights went off, and they said, I use Elementor on most of my sites. Does that mean I should use something else if it causes the site to slow down? What's your take on that?
So my take is there are two things, Divi and Elementor. Divi is the worst one and Elementor is slightly better. But I would stick with Elementor and find other areas where you can improve the page speed. But I would not work with Divi in Divi in WordPress.
Okay, and it's also worth saying that site speed isn't like, it's not the only thing, right? If you're able to build a good and usable site that people like and has a decent conversion rate in Elementor or whatever, then it doesn't mean that you need to go and rebuild your site from scratch.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's one factor, isn't it?
Yeah, there are different ways to improve page speed and usability, which will in turn improve your traffic.
Yeah, so things like caching, things like Cloudflare, or these content delivery networks and stuff like that can be a good thing to look into.
Yeah.
Okay, Ismail has submitted Quantably over on Facebook. So thanks, Ismail, for this. Let's have a look at this from an SEO perspective then. So what are we thinking straight away, Ritu? What's your initial...
I like the image. And these CTAs could be better, because CTAs could be better. The font could be a little better. And
fairly lost, aren't they? We also don't know what we don't really know anything about it yet. So signing up or requesting a demo feels like a little bit high commitment, doesn't it?
And then there are 3 CTAs. Usually there should be just one to avoid any distraction. And then Spanish on the top right, I would not make it, I would not highlight it. I assume that it will take me to a Spanish version of this website.
It's almost like the primary call to action, isn't it? The fact that it's red, it's kind of the button that we'd expect the demo thing to be. And there's other ways of communicating Spanish, a little Spanish flag, for example, which is going to make more sense to Spanish people than the word Spanish.
Spanish flag, because the highlighting in red color, it almost catches my attention. But it's of no use to me, because I prefer in English. And then if we scroll down, I like the image. Image is good.
Yeah.
Why we are social sector executives.
So this seems to be, is it data management for non-profits and NGOs, I think.
Yeah. Social sector executives. Yeah.
Okay,
and
so I think that there's probably something around as we're doing the SEO flavor today, keyword research. So, what would your target customers search for? What's the problem that they've got? If it's a new problem and it's something that's new to them, like you're offering a completely new solution that's brand new in the space, then you probably want like a 1-sentence description of what it is and what it does, so that you can really quickly just hit people straight between the eyes with, we do X for X. So they're just like, oh, okay, got it. Right. At the moment, we're relying on the visitor investing time to find out what you do. And that's generally not the best from a conversion perspective.
Yeah. Because you might just lose a user if they have to go here and there to find out.
Yeah. If you're relying on your visitors thinking, then generally it's not a good strategy. It wants to feel like a slippery slope.
Working together, want to see a demo could be a little bigger. It's kind of lost.
Yeah. Oh, and the demo just takes us further. All right, so it's a demo. All right, okay.
It's a one-page site.
It's what? Sorry.
It's a one-page site, I think.
Oh, the whole site's one page. Okay, let's address that from an SEO perspective then, Ritu. One-page website or multi-page site? What do you think?
It's quite difficult to rank one-page website because usually one page is focused to just one keyword. There is one focused keyword per page. And if you have all the content on one page, you are limiting your keywords and you are basically limiting your reach. So I would say I'm always in favor of multiple page website. I think it's much clearer. It's clearer for Google as well. So if I want my what page to rank for X number of keywords, then I can focus on that section for that particular set of keywords. But if it's just one page, then it limits my content production. How much content should I write? And it gets very long as well. How much you would scroll down. On mobile, yes, you tend to scroll down, but on desktop, the percentage of scrolling is very low. So I'm in favor of multiple page websites.
Yeah, I mean, if we think about, for a business like this, if you're selling a new solution, Ismail, that maybe people aren't, if they're not going onto Google and typing in, data management for NGOs, for example, what we might want to think about is you've built this because you've identified some problems, you've identified some frustrations, and one of the best ways to build visibility for this, we've got a client who's similar sort of space in that they've built a software platform that solves what people don't know they need. Now they just sold it for 26 million in cash, but they've done that because the content strategy has been, what's the problem that we're solving? Because people know what their problem is. They might not know that the solution exists, but they know what their problem is. So let's say, for example, that I'm struggling to manage my donors, for example, right? So we've got Razor's Edge or Salesforce to track donations. So maybe there's a question that people have for like Salesforce NGO alternative. Well, we might be able to make a really good blog post about that, or we might be able to target a Y page like Salesforce alternative. You might have a sub page underneath that which explains why you built this, having got frustrated with the limitations of Salesforce or just the cost of Salesforce for NGOs. So by doing this one page thing, we're basically limiting ourselves, aren't we, Riti?
Yes, exactly.
It's really
and then there is an opportunity to add blog. Blog is a really good way to target long tail keywords that users might be searching for, and long tail keywords tend to convert better.
I mean, you could have if your target audience is quite well defined, then you can focus your blog on data best practices for NGOs, and this could be a real hub that people come to hear about your experiences managing data and where data is going, your take on GDPR for NGOs, and it's all this it just allows you to become thought leader in the space and establish credibility, which is then going to help with links, and it's going to help with all sorts. So at the moment, this feels like a kind of business card type site stuck up, ready to drive traffic and drive people that you meet. But at the moment, it's not really a traffic driver, and it doesn't look like it might be that much of a conversion driver as a result.
Yeah, and little things like I just noticed that the meta description is way too long.
Let's have a look at that. So we got page title, Quantably, a collaborative project for non-profit professionals. I mean, a collaborative project for non-profit professionals is great, but nobody cares.
Yeah.
That's not what people are looking for. That's the people behind it. But no, you know, that doesn't solve my needs. The fact that it's a collaborative, it doesn't tell me anything. So we got to be ruthless with it. And then here we've got the meta description that you mentioned, Riti. So it says, Quantably is a cloud-based organization management system. Okay, right. There's your target keyword. Designed for non-profits and NGOs. Intuitive design connects all your organizational departments in a simple, cohesive way so that you can run your organization from a single platform, no matter what type of organization you are. Quantably is a system that would transform how you work and fulfill your message. Read more about what it does. Okay, so how would you improve that meta description? What are some of the kind of principles that you're looking for in a meta description that tell you this is a banger?
So first of all, it should be short, because we don't want Google to do the hard work to strip off the extra characters. So it should be short, and it should tell me why I should click on this link when I see it in Google. So if I'm searching for cloud-based, so what is it?
Organizational management system.
Yeah, cloud-based organizational management system. So it could be, if you're a nonprofit or an NGO, we offer a cloud-based organizational management system which can fulfill your needs or something. It should be short and direct.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like this is almost, it's like intense sales copy, isn't it? It's going to take a long time to read it. It needs to be snappy, and it needs to drive people through to the site. So some kind of call to action, read more about what it does is okay, but maybe watch a demo now, or you know, something like that, which indicates that people can kind of get started and get playing with it quickly, would typically increase your click-through rate from search.
True.
Okay. And then link building for a site like this. Where would you start? What do you think some opportunities are to start building visibility and getting attention?
I think if it's for NGOs or if it's for NGOs, we could start a linking campaign that we can team up with some NGOs or the other organization that may offer something very similar, as not similar, something for NGOs, and maybe try and get a link from those sites, because those links are going to be very, very valuable if we are able to get those links. And then I think, and if they're just the beginning, then I think locals, then the citation links would be really helpful to build the brand name.
Yeah, very, very quick to get citation links.
Yeah, so very quick to get.
There's so many approaches that you could take with something like this. You could, like you say, targeting complementary businesses, whether that's you know, donation platforms that have large volumes of links. I think one of the things that might be worth looking at is, because you're collecting data, is there any data that you're collecting which would be interesting to people? So, for example, would it be interesting to look at how donations have changed throughout lockdown? Like, what are the trending topics that you can piggyback on? How has GDPR impacted nonprofits and NGOs? Like, using what's in your business already, how can you take that and how can you make that newsworthy and the sort of thing that sites would want to talk about?
That will be a very good material for social media too. Yes,
absolutely. Okay.
I just spotted in their robots.txt. It might sound a bit technical, but in their robots.txt, they've got wrong sitemap link. So they've just got the homepage. So it should
what's
be
the implication of that?
So you are this is the file that Google looks at. So you are saying, you are telling Google that this is your sitemap link, which is incorrect. So you're not showing the right sitemap link to the Google XML sitemap link. So there is a possibility that Google may not be able to reach to your XML sitemap link that easily, and also you are in brand new domain. So these are little places where you can push for your indexability, faster indexation. And there are things that shouldn't be in your XML sitemap as well.
Oh, okay, right.
So these can be the quick wins.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, if there's any site that can get away with an incorrect sitemap link, it's a one-pager. But however, in our actual XML sitemap, we do have other links.
Another page, yeah, I noticed that.
So this looks like the back end. All right, so that's like the login link to the back end. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so a bit of technical SEO to do, a bit of kind of strategy to think about what are we actually going to do with this website and how are we going to, I mean, it's essentially the website needs a bit of a rethink, doesn't it? It's not.
Yes. A strategy.
That needs to happen first before we start going too deep down the link route. But yeah, okay, so plenty of opportunity. That's what we'd like to see, low-hanging fruit.
Yep.
Okay, someone else has submitted dineindulge.co.uk. Now, I know we're just riding roughshod over all the sites that we were going to look at today, but I just want to value the people that are here already. Oh, hire a private chef with Dine Indulge. Oh, yummy. I don't know. I've been watching MasterChef recently, and it's tell you what, it makes you hungry. Okay. Private chef hire. Hire a chef at home or on holiday with Dine Indulge. Browse our gourmet menus below, prepared. Okay. Browse our gourmet menus below, prepared, cooked, and served for you by our private chefs. I'd get someone to proofread the site. That's difficult to read. And immediately that's going to kind of, it's going to just, unless I'm being completely moronic, which is definitely a possibility by this time in the week. Right, let's just try this. Let's see how it works. So this is looks like a directory type site. Oh, I'm hungry now. Let's do it now. Number of heads. Well, there's 2 of us, but we're very hungry, so let's get 4. This is a kind of potentially a directory type site, is it? I guess we need to find out, don't we? Let's go for Indulge. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's try. Choose your menu.
So get price now. I feel like I've just got the price, haven't I? Choose a menu. Okay.
So again,
I'm not
get
sure
price.
I'm understanding this. Am I dumb? I might. Oh, right, so you need to click on these, do you? No. Okay.
So I was expecting a list of restaurants.
Yeah. I kind of put my. All right, let's just try get price now then.
Yeah.
I thought it told me what the price was. At the moment, I'm not sure this is simple enough for me to be ready to put details in. I'm not sure what I'm going to get here. I'm not sure what I'm signing up for. Am I going to get all? Oh, am I going to get all of those things, or? Not entirely sure. So I think through the UI here and how we can just make it absolutely brain dead simple. It might be that I am, not functioning properly. But Ritu's much smarter than me, and I'm not sure
I think I am not sure of these CTAs. Get price now, because it's not very clear what I'm going to get by clicking on these CTAs. Get price now.
No, I've got the price there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's got confusing.
So there's a user experience thing which needs to be sorted, and that takes priority over anything else that we're going to look at. But we're also going to look at things from an SEO perspective.
I like the Trustpilot stars.
Yes,
that's good. I think that's from user perspective as well. That looks good.
Yeah, the one thing I would say is when we clicked on that page, I think it said something like 1,500 reviews or something. So I think there's a high volume of reviews. So I'd wonder about getting the number of reviews in this little widget, because it's even more compelling. Like
More compelling,
5 stars. I know we've got a cynical bunch who watch these and they think you say 5 stars. It's just I don't believe it. I don't buy it. So if you can back that up with a large number of reviews, then that's a good thing to do. Okay. Hey Hamza, how's it going? Right. What else are you thinking on this homepage then? Let me just scroll down and we'll see what we've got.
Scroll down, hire a chef at home.
Now, hire a chef at home, that's not a bad heading, is it? Because it's both how people would think and it's also what they would search. So that seems
what they would search, yeah. So when I click on read more, it just expands. Which is good.
Okay, so we've got a good amount of copy on this page, and we've also got some kind of general phrases as well.
Yeah.
How to hire a private chef is probably something that you're going to want to target.
Private chef, and then lots of links.
Good amount of information on this page, isn't there? Is this a one pager? That's good.
And the video as well, which is good.
It is a one pager. We're attracting the one pagers today. Okay, so I think
it has more
it has more pages, doesn't it? It's got kind of separate sections, but we've got these 5 kind of pages at the start, which are explanation about how the business works, and that's all like collapsed onto one page. So maybe there's an opportunity to split that out.
Yeah, like this Christmas in the top menu. When you click on Christmas, that's a brand new page. Vegan.
Okay, so all right, it looks like there's. I mean, it's a really cool idea. I'm just curious. Let's hire a private chef and just see what sort of competition we're up against.
On the home page. On the home page, I think what's confusing is that the links and the text that is highlighted is the same color. So some are links and some are not. So as a user, I found it quite confusing. Even when you scroll down, there are lots of things which are highlighted in red. It doesn't appeal to the eyes. So I think we can
none of these are links. I don't think
none of these are links.
But that one is.
So and then browse under menu choice. Browse is a link.
That's a link. Okay. Yeah. So right. So we've got an issue here where we've got we've got an issue here where we're not being consistent. The design language is meaning that we end up not trusting any of these internal links, which is a shame. Because actually some of them might be pretty good.
Might be pretty good links. And the purpose of highlighting the links is that they stand out in the text. But
okay. So we've got a potential usability thing. I mean, this I'm curious to think about how the search landscape would look for something like this, because I'm inclined to think that this is almost if people think that this is going to be a local search, for example, then what we might end up with is a bit like, the Rated People kind of trades comparison sites where we need location pages ranking. So we need private chef hire Nottingham, private chef hire Bristol, and those need to be kind of static indexable pages that are going to be ranking for those location terms.
Yes. So from the home page, I think they have got some location pages as well.
Okay.
I think I just noticed UK, France. So United
Kingdom. This is there
if you scroll down on.
Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, right. Okay. Okay.
Other cities.
Okay. I used to live in Southampton, and God knows they need some good food down there. So let's have a look. So hire a private chef. All right. So we do have location pages.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to autofill that Southampton. If I've landed on this page, then I am there for sure. Well spotted, Ruti. It's a good job we got you here.
Private chef hire, York private chef. And maybe we can, in the URL, instead of just saying private chef York, we can make it private chef hire or hire private chef York.
Okay. Let's get this one into SEMrush and see, or SEMrush.
Yeah.
Let's get it into whatever we want to get it into, just to see what sort of
competitors, traffic,
visibility we've got. And then we'll get a big competitor in here as well to see what they're doing. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we like that trend. Not huge volume of organic traffic at the moment. Let's have a look at the keywords that it's ranking for and see if these are location type terms.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you take from these?
So chef to cook for you at home, private chef Milan, private chef hire Ibiza. So there are location-based terms that they've got even featured snippet for a couple of them.
Nice. Okay.
Which is really good.
Book a private chef London. Okay, so it is these location pages that are working. That's interesting. The book a private chef London has a different URL, doesn't it? It's like private chef /
private chef. Yeah. So maybe we can be consistent with the URL structure as well.
I guess what might end up happening is that these pages will rank for the location, and then that's passing authority to the / private chef page, which is which would end up becoming the one that ranks for those kind of core terms.
And the one that we were looking at, private chef York, one, it has a lot of boilerplate text, which is same as the home page. I think we should have a unique page content to every single page. So if it's a York page, it should be more focused around York. And there's a lot of opportunity to add content about York. And a lot of opportunity to add private chef York related keywords that you want that page to rank for.
You know what this reminds me of? So you're right. And on that point, this is not only a content strategy, it's also a potential link building strategy. So the question that people often have is, we've got these 50 different location pages, right? If we're doing every city in the UK, we want to rank all of them. We might have 500 location pages. How do we make each of them interesting and kind of justify? And I think there's a few things that you can do. You can have testimonials from people. You can include their postcode in the testimonials. You can mention some of the chefs that work with you in these areas as well. You can, if they've got restaurants, and you can mention those restaurants. I wouldn't be afraid of kind of showing people the stuff behind the scenes. People are still going to book with you if the user experience is good. A lot of these private chefs, they're going to be a nightmare to get hold of. They're not going to have thought of that kind of conversion process. I wouldn't be afraid of sharing them with the audience, and that's a good way of building. But also from a link building perspective, this is potentially really interesting because you could talk about, what are the most private chef, what are the most popular dishes in certain places? Which place in the UK likes curry the most? Which place in the UK likes private chefs the most? Right?
There's endless opportunity, and even we can improve internal link building as well. Maybe we could just on the York page, we can add recent blogs for York. So we can create tags on blog which are for York. Then they will be displayed automatically on the York page. And it's quite easy to do with platforms like WordPress or Shopify. It's quite easy to do and keeps the content fresh and updated automatically with less work.
Great suggestion. So potentially running like Q&A sessions with some of the chefs in the individual locations, and then tagging them into the locations that they work in, and then having those pull through onto the category pages.
Pull onto the category pages.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of interesting that this, if we look at the pages that are ranking, it's kind of interesting that it's a news a news piece which is ranking here. It's a how-to piece there. It's another news piece there. So it's the content which is kind of outranking these location pages, which I guess isn't, it's not atypical, is it? It's fairly common to see these days, but just demonstrates the importance of that content strategy and making sure we're writing content for the sort of phrases people are targeting.
Yeah. Another thing that I would like to suggest is they can make a good use of the footer. That's what I've seen in a lot of websites that have loads of location-based links. So they have got section our countries. And what they could do instead is our countries should be a heading. And then under our countries, they could have pages, United Kingdom, France, or whatever countries they are targeting. So that will help faster indexation of deep-rooted pages.
Because you're basically linking to every one of those core pages from every other page on the site.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can easily get the list of pages using Screaming Frog. So when you run your website in Screaming Frog, you'll get a list of pages that are deep-rooted, and to make them easily indexable, you can just link it from the footer.
Great suggestion. Okay, so it feels like there's kind of three opportunities here. We haven't really looked at links yet, but if we just have a quick poke at links to see what we've got.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like maybe links haven't been a top priority yet.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, so fairly low authority sites that are linking in. Oh, there's probably a directory, isn't it?
There are directories, yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot of directory sites. Okay, so it feels like there are three opportunities with this site, and they're pretty big. First is user experience, making it easy to convert. I would imagine that the conversion rate on this site is way below what it could be. And the traffic that you're already getting could be generating a lot more bookings than it is currently if you can tighten up that process. The second thing is on-site SEO. It feels a little bit disjointed. We've got different pages with different URLs. We don't have as much content on some of these local pages as we need to for them to really rank. And then we've got this kind of internal link thing, which is really confusing, and it's going to be hampering user experience as well.
Yeah.
Then we have bigger kind of content strategy, how we use the blog on the site, how we set up knowledge base, and then how we start linking. So this high potential with this, I'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would say is, who was it who submitted this site? I can't remember who submitted this site, but whoever Curtains to Bedding. Great name. Submit the site for a review. You can go to exposureninja.com/review, and that will fill in a bit of detail about the business, submit it to the team. They'll take an in-depth look at the site, build a bit of a prioritized list. They won't just look at SEO. They won't just look at CRO. They'll also look at social. They'll also look at ways of driving paid traffic to the site. They'll record you a 15-minute video, send that over to you by email. That'll be a really good thing to do, because that'll kind of give you a prioritized list of things to work through. But loads of potential with it. Hope it goes well. Looks like it could be really big.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great time to be in the private chef booking space as well. I think, people's habits are going to be very different. And I think, it's going to take a while for that to reset.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the next site up in the list. Who have we got? We have, let's go for, we haven't done an e-commerce one yet. Let's go for this one here. So this is weddingrings-direct.com. So pretty competitive. I think we've actually looked at a wedding ring site in the past. Obviously a pretty cool space to be in. Pretty interesting year you would have had, but I mean, if things keep going the way they are, you could have a very interesting year next year. So yeah. This looks like an e-commerce type site.
Yeah.
We've got these mega menus. Like, what are some of the pitfalls that sites like this tend to fall down from an SEO perspective?
Um, from on page perspective, the most common issues that I have seen is they miss out on things like meta tags. They'll have lots of broken links. It's mostly the housekeeping things that you would do, and internal linking, which I have noticed a lot of websites that it's forgotten, but it's really powerful, and it helps in indexation. So yeah, I think the on page, including the meta tags and the internal links.
So when you're saying internal linking is often forgotten,
Yeah.
what approach should people be taking to their internal links? And maybe just to start, for those who don't know what an internal link is, what
Yeah.
is an internal link, and why are they important?
So linking within your website, linking within your pages. So one link pointing to another page on your website.
Yeah.
So that is an internal link. And why it's important, because in every website, homepage has the highest authority and highest page rank, and has the ability to pass on page rank to other pages. And now if you create a new page, and let's say you have a new promotion or new product, and you create a new page, and if it's an orphan page, which means it's not linked from anywhere, it's very difficult for that page to be indexed in Google. It'll be much faster if it's linked from the web, from your homepage, or from any other page that is well connected. So that's why it's important to have a strong internal linking, and it's very useful for Amazon, for e-commerce site. Say a website like Amazon, if they don't have a good linking, it's not possible for Google to crawl their pages if they don't have a good internal linking.
So for a site like this, and this site looks fairly well developed, but having clear product category structure so that all of your products sit underneath at least one category, and making sure that they're linked to, here we can see something slightly odd here, because we've got ladies rings, which is
And
the
then,
URL. And then
yeah,
when we go one level down, we go to like diamond set rings, and we lose the ladies ring
the
thing.
ladies rings, yeah.
Some of these are like categories, some of them are subcategories.
So URL structure, and then the dynamic URLs are there. So clean URL is also another thing that we should have. Like this one that is not a clean URL.
So what do you mean by clean URL?
Clean URL means that it shouldn't have a parameters, which is like metal is equal to 9. So could be more descriptive, like what is it? Unique rings. It could be just decorative wedding rings, decorative hyphen wedding rings.
So I think what we actually did here was we clicked on decorative platinum wedding ring. So I mean, that's going to be that's an important search to be targeting, isn't it?
Yes.
So this needs to be, whether it's like unique rings, decorative, platinum, this needs to be a static page which Google can index and serve up to users.
Yes.
At the moment, it's like a search results page. Okay, and then if we have a look at an individual product page here. So I suppose this has a bit of a challenge in that it's going to be quite difficult to get any of these product pages ranking, because they're quite difficult to describe, and we've got different attributes. This could be yellow gold, it could be a white gold, it could be a platinum type page. So how do we optimize this?
And maybe in the title it says decorative wedding ring, but maybe we could just say what is this product. We could say designed wedding ring with 2 mm width, so we can have unique title to every single product.
So yeah, okay. So they've got in the page title, they've got platinum 2 mm bubbled ring. So
yeah, we could just name it the same.
Yeah, it makes a bit more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
because I was a little confused whether you have clicked on whether you are on still category page or on the product page, because I was just looking at the title. the category
Yes.
page also had the same title.
That's true, isn't it? So we've got decorative wedding rings sitting underneath the decorative wedding rings.
Yes.
Okay. Content on this page from an SEO perspective, this has got to be a nightmare, hasn't it? Because
Yes.
we've got an image. We've got a few images. We don't have the image on someone, so it's going to be almost impossible for someone to convert on this because they don't know what it looks like. And then we've got 2 very short sentences with almost no description. There's no reviews. It's very difficult for Google to justify ranking.
If you click on this profile, traditional code, what does that do? Scroll up.
That one there.
Size. Yeah. Oh, you can't click
on those. Yeah, the grayed out ones are not clickable.
The grayed. Okay. Yeah.
So the only thing I can do is change the metal. If I change the metal, interestingly, it's not changing the URL. It's not changing the page title, even though I've now changed the metal. So
yeah. It's without content, it's quite difficult to optimize this page and rank. First of all, we need to know what keyword we are trying to rank this for, whether it's the platinum bobbled ring or wedding ring. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, not ideal. I guess there's another thing here, which is kind of the wider content strategy and how you help people find the information from them, which tends to be, the way things are going with e-commerce and how you can add a bit more value to the site. So
which is the guide section. That generally helps, the guide section, the blog, because you can target long tail keywords using guides, which often works. And then within the guides, you can link back to your product pages, which is, again, from internal linking perspective, really good. Because if someone starts the journey on your website from blog, then you can take them to your product page, and hopefully they'll convert, because that's the whole aim. Even when we are writing blogs, we want to target long tail keywords.
Okay, so this is the buyer's guide. I mean, this could be way better, couldn't it? At the moment, this is basically just a category page. There's almost no information at all. It would be great to see different examples of plain rings. We might have a video, what sort of style they tend to work best, with, and what your personal style is. So which one could work for you? Famous people that have different types of, there could be an opportunity here to turn this into a really useful piece, because actually how to choose a wedding ring could be a great phrase to rank for.
Great phrase. And with the word guide, I was expecting an actual guide, which is long, detailed. So yeah, definitely there's a huge scope of improvement from the content perspective.
You've got such high standards, Ritu. Imagine expecting a guide when you see the word guide. Okay, so sticking them into SEMrush. Okay, not doing too badly. But there looks like some fairly significant scope for improvement. So the pages that we've got ranking here, Palladium rings. So that's going to be a Palladium category page that's ranking. Come on, give me the URL. Okay, so buyer's guide, wedding rings, metal, Palladium. So that's kind of interesting, isn't it? That it's not the Palladium category page that's ranking, it's the Palladium information page that's ranking.
And are we linking back to any of the products? So this is an opportunity. If the product, if the guide is ranking, then we can link out to the products from here.
I'm not sure it is.
It's not.
We've got a link to white gold. Yeah.
So,
I hope that means they don't sell Palladium rings.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise that is bad.
Yeah. Wedding and great.
What else have we got? So it's almost, let's have a look
plain
at the
wedding bands. Yeah.
Sorry, I know I tend to jump around a bit. Okay, well this is kind of interesting, isn't it? It's all the buyer's guide stuff that is picking up the majority of the traffic.
Yeah. So there's one shaped rings, wishbone. So it's mostly the buyer's guide, which is...
Yeah. And I guess that ties into what we were saying with so little information on category and product pages. Google cannot justify ranking those.
Yeah.
So it falls to pages like this, which do have a bit of information. So I suppose the other thing to look at is the opportunity to add significantly more content to pages like this Palladium page, so that Google could justify ranking this, because actually you've got a page ranking at the moment which isn't useful to visitors at all, because you're not linking to this page. If you can link a not useful page, then if you can get a not useful page ranking, you should be able to win with this.
Yeah, I think it would be good to look at exit rate and bounce rate for the pages in Google Analytics. Then we can decide the priority of the pages where we should start working in terms of content strategy.
Yes, it would be good to look at exit rate and bounce rate. It would also probably be crushing for them to look at it. But yes, it would definitely be good. Okay, we actually need to wrap up. We're now out of time, I'm afraid. So as always, we have run out of time to do the sites we had lined up. But I hope this has been useful for you. If you would like your site to be submitted in future, just drop it. If you'd like your site to be reviewed in future, just drop it in the comments, and we will go through at the end and pick out all the sites that we haven't had time for and put them in the hit list for next time. Someone said the URL live with Exposure Ninja is hiding the URL. Sorry about that, Mega. We'll get that removed in future. That is annoying. Ashraf says ways to earn as a website owner. Well, the best way to earn as a website owner is to sell something. That's the way that you have the most control over. Failing that as affiliates and all sorts of memberships type stuff as well. It's a big question. Big question. Maybe one for a future video. Thank you for joining us, Ritu.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Super useful.
Yes, and we'll be here next Friday, 10:30, same channels. Hope you have a great weekend. Remember, your competitors are going to start winding down for Christmas now. The quitters. We still have a good portion of the year left. I like to think about people running a race, and the winner of the race only typically wins by a couple of percent. What if we are now in the home stretch of the race? What if the stuff that you do now before the end of the year is the stuff that helps you win, as your competitors are just falling asleep and stuffing their faces silly with mince pies? Anyway. Right, have a good weekend, everyone. See you soon next week. Is probably, I think, our last session before Christmas. So we're going to do a roundup of our favorite marketing strategies and campaigns during the year. We're going to have another special guest on. Don't know who it'll be. We might even rope in Dale or Mark. See you soon, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.